We are at the Theater for the New City in New York City, and we're right in the midst of the New York Uke Fest 2006.
And I believe it's the first one ever.
And there are ukulele players from all over the world. We even have Hawaiian players here today. This whole weekend, it's 4 days of ukulele madness.
We're at the 2006 New York Uke Fest in the East Village in Manhattan.
Great day, wonderful day, people strolling around.
Welcome to New York Uke Fest 2006. I'm Uke Jackson. Today we've got a lineup of really fine ukulele artists who represent a wide variety of styles in the mainland ukulele world. Their names are Victoria Vox, Craig Robertson, Pops Bayless, and the Shorty Long Band, Ron Gordon, the fabulous Heftones, and Spats White. Ron Gordon is a fixture on the old-time music scene in New York State, so it was a no-brainer bringing him to New York Uke Fest.
My name is Ron Gordon. I live in upstate New York, and I'm sort of the monopoly of ukulele playing up there. And but I've been pushing the ukulele for quite a few years upstate now at festivals, and I have some students, and I started a ukulele club in Schenectady. We meet once a month. So I'm really trying to get the ukulele in the arts consciousness a little bit more. When I go to play at festivals and big cultural events, most people don't want to hire somebody as a ukulele player. So I sneak it in the back door because I'm going as a guitar player, or I'm doing free blues workshops, and I kind of sneak the ukulele in. blues on a ukulele. A good friend of mine told me last year at a festival, she said that's sort of an oxymoron. But I'll be playing some blues today on the uke. Fishin' Blues, which was written by a guy named Henry Thomas in the first couple decades of the 20th century. I was one of the first people to record a blues. It's a nice simple blues that fits well on the uke. Well, bet you're going fishing all the time. Baby's going fishing too. Bet your life, your sweet wife are gonna catch more fish than you. Many fish bite if you got good bait. Here's a little something I would like to relate. With my pole and my line, I'm going fishing, yes I'm going fishing. Baby's going fishing too. Well, I went on down to my favorite fishing hole, bought myself a pole and line. Got a 9-pound catfish at the bottom, yes I got him. Took him home about supper time, singing, many fish bite if you got good bait. Here's a little something I would like to relate. With my pole and my line, I'm going fishing, yes I'm going fishing. My baby's going fishing too. Now let's play now. Well, put him in a pot, put him in a pan, cook him till he's nice and brown. Make up a bunch of whole wheat cakes, mama put that sucker on the table and chop him on down. Many fish bite if you got good bait. Here's a little something I would like to relate. With my pole and my line, I'm going fishing, yes I'm going fishing. My baby's going fishing too, yes she is. Well, I bet you're going fishing all the time. Baby's going fishing too. Bet your life, your sweet wife are gonna catch more fish than you. Many fish bite if you got good bait. Here's a little something I would like to relate. With my pole and my line, I'm going fishing, yes I'm going fishing. My baby's going fishing too.
I first became aware of the fabulous Heftones when a CD they put out came into my hands for my radio show. I've been hooked ever since, and I'm sure as soon as you hear them, you will be too.
I'm Lynn Heffron.
I'm Brian Heffron.
We're the fabulous Heftones from Lansing, Michigan.
Well, my grandmother was a good piano player, and so she would play all of those old early 20th century pop tunes. Such good songs were written back then. Later on, I heard Ukulele Ike record and liked the way he sang, and it seemed that kind of style seemed to suit my voice a little better than other things I had tried. So that's what I've been doing ever since.
I used to go to the local folk music coffee houses and watch the musicians, and then there was this guy with ukulele that was so cool. And so every time I saw that he was going to be performing at that venue, I would make sure I dropped everything and go watch the ukulele guy. And we met at one of those concerts and started dating, and now I'm part of the act, so it's pretty fun. I like it a lot.
That works for me.
Suppose that I'm a girl from Germany.
My fatherland.
You understand. Suppose that you're a boy from Paris.
I love romance and sunny France.
But I don't know a word of your Francais. German too is big to you. Do you think that you could find a way to say that you love me?
Oh, certainly.
Words are not the only thing when you are making love. Your eyes are always whispering, come be my turtle dove. Every time you take her hand, she knows your love is true. And lips are only needed when you steal a kiss or two. Words are not the only thing when you are making love. Your eyes are always whispering, come be my turtle dove. Every time you take her hand, she knows your love is true. And lips are only needed when you steal a kiss or two. needed when you steal a kiss or two.
The bass that I play, Brian's father invented and built. It's called a Heftone bass, and mine happens to be fretless, and it has 5 strings. It has a high C string. It's played like a regular upright string bass, but it looks like a big banjo. And I learned it just because the first time I met Brian's father, I was trying very hard to impress him. And Brian wasn't thinking about my need to impress his father, so he said, here's a bass, play it. This is a C chord. And so I stood there and panicked and played it, and,
You did very well.
and so now I play bass, and I like it very much.
What we tend to do is we tend to stick to songs that were written in mostly New York City between maybe 1900 and 1930. Seemed to be the golden era of songwriting.
For me, it's a lot about harmony, and I love to sing together. So we're looking for songs a lot that we can do together. My father, I remember him sitting down with me and teaching me how to sing harmony with an old hymnal, and that was a really magical time. I exactly remember what the room looked like when I finally understood what harmony was.
In a palace in the shade, a marked impression once she made upon a boy from the East Village. And every morning he would be underneath that bamboo tree, waiting there his love to see. And then to her he'd say, if you like to change your name. 'Cause I love you and love you true. And if you love me, one live is two live is one, under the bamboo tree.
The one that I almost have trouble getting through because I get all choked up is For Me and My Gal. And my family sang that as a sort of a medley with Shine on Harvest Moon.
A couple sitting underneath the willow tree, and for love they pied. The maid was afraid of the darkness, so she said, I guess I'll go. The boy began to sigh, looked to the sky, told the moon his little tale of woe. Shine on, harvest moon up in the sky. I ain't had no love since April, January, June, July. No time, ain't no time to stay outdoors and spoon. So shine on, harvest moon for me and my gal. All he has to say is, won't you be my bride? 'Cause you know I love you. Why should I tell you all my secrets when I know you ought to guess that the harvest moon will smile, shine all the while, if the special one should answer yes. So shine on, harvest moon up in the sky. I ain't had no loving since April, January, June, or July. It's no time, ain't no time to stay outdoors and spoon. So shine on, harvest moon for me and my gal.
I mean, we're in love, and that's an important part of. We choose songs that mostly are about happy love, but we tend to sing, Kiss or Two, because we are in love, and why not? I'm really happy to be in New York, and I'm really happy to be singing with Brian.
It's really fun.
Percival Jones was a sweet little boy, all dressed up like a bundle of joy. Early to bed and early to rise, that never made Percival very wise. 'Cause after a month on Broadway, here's what he wrote home to say. Oh, mother, you wouldn't know your child. Oh, mother, I'm getting awfully wild. I am drinking Coca-Cola now. On the level, I'm a little devil. Oh, mother, you wouldn't want me home. Cannibals compared with me are mild. I'm no more your peaceful little lamb. I shave most every day just like a man. I've thrown away my nightie and I wear a big pajam. Oh, mother, I'm wild. That person went out to see a musical show. He got himself a seat in the very first row. Then the girls on the stage started to shimmy and shake. Percy shouted, goodness sake. Oh, mother, if you could just see. This is the life, dear, for me. Oh, mother, you wouldn't or your child. Oh, mother, I'm getting awfully wild. I am reading dimes or novels now. On the level, I'm a little devil. Oh, mother, you wouldn't want me home. Cannibals compared with me are mild. Once I die,
little after 10. I bought some Cuban cigarettes and then I stood up at the corner and I smoked with all the men. Oh, mother, I'm wild. See, once I went out to a swell affair. A lady asked me to do the shimmy there. I said, I beg your pardon, but that's something I don't wear. Oh, mother, I'm wild. Oh, mother, I'm wild.
Victoria Vox has emerged in the last year or so as a tremendous musical talent who exercises herself on the ukulele. Around here at New York Uke Fest, we call her the sweetheart of the rodeo.
I first came across the ukulele in, it was probably 3 years ago, and a friend of mine ended up giving me a ukulele, and it kind of started out as a joke, and then eventually it was the highlight of the Victoria Vox show. And with the ukulele, I also do this sort of vintage jazz style. So it really kind of opens up the genre of my own music as far as a songwriter. Last year I did 200 shows coast to coast, including Hawaii, and I do all my own booking. I try to do as much promotion as I can, and I kind of wear all the hats in making what is the Victoria Vox show and tour.
That you ever saw.
Spats White is a fixture on the New York uke scene. It's a pleasure to have him here at New York Uke Fest.
My name is Spats White. Back in the mid-1980s, I became friendly with Tiny Tim, and Tim gave me my first ukulele and encouraged me to play. And I wound up playing some gigs with him in the city at the Village Gate and different jazz clubs. My repertoire of music it began, of course, with as with a lot of retro people, with the 20s and 30s music, because that was a very hot period for jazz and a great period for popular music composition. What's odd is the older I get, the further back I seem to gravitate in time. And I find that the music of the turn of the century is just so incredibly beautiful. Songs like Mary and Little Nellie Kelly and stuff like that is just so sweet and simple and honest and pure.
Since first I saw the love light in your eye, I dreamt the world had not but joy for me. And even though we drifted far apart, I never dreamed but what I dream of thee. I love you as I never loved before, since first I met you on the village green. Come to me, and my dream of love is o'er. I love you as I loved you when you were sweet, when you were sweet, 16.
Thank you. And then you go back even further and you get back into the music of Stephen Foster. I mean, this is beautiful, almost hymnal, almost religious type of music, because back then that was where the music was drawn from, was from church and from the hymnal stuff, just like Berlin and Gershwin took from the synagogue, and that kind of Jolson kind of davening type of singing that they did. You just can't beat it for simplicity and yet the beauty of it, you know.
I'll be down to get you in a taxi, honey. Be ready round 8:30. Oh baby, don't be late. Don't wanna be there when the band starts playing. Remember when we get there, honey, 2 steps we'll dance some more. We're gonna dance out both our shoes when they play the Jelly Roll Blues tomorrow night at the Dogtown Strutters Ball. I'll be down to get you in a taxi, honey. Be ready round 8:30. Oh baby, don't be late. I wanna be there when the band starts playing. Remember when we get there, honey, 2 steps we'll dance some more. We're gonna dance out both our shoes when they play them blues tomorrow night at the Dogtown Strutters. I said at the Dogtown Strutters, tonight at the Dogtown Strutters Ball.
I'm just very happy that the ukulele today, at least, is taking on seems to be a new life of its own, because it does deserve it. It's a little frightening because it's weird. The uke seems to have some kind of a separate cosmic energy more than other instruments. You don't see, you know, trumpet festivals or, you know, snare drum conventions. I'm just glad that the music lives on and that the ukulele lives on.
Oh, there's a saying going round, and I've begun to think it's true. It's awful hard to love someone when they don't care two bits about you. Once I had a loving gal as good as any in this town, but now I'm sad and lonely. She's gone and turned me down. Now I ain't got nobody, no, no, and nobody cares for me. And I'm so sad and lonely. Won't somebody come and take a chance with me? You know what I'll do? I'll sing love songs all the time. If you come and be mine, sweet baby mine, 'cause I ain't got nobody, no, no, and nobody cares for me. I'm singing love songs all the time. If you'll only be mine, sweet baby mine, 'cause I ain't got nobody, and nobody cares for me or you. Nobody cares for me. Thank you.
Craig Robertson is a great storyteller, and that's what attracted me to his music. I'm sure you'll agree. The dark side of the ukulele is in good hands.
My name is Craig Robertson. I'm from Boston. How long have I been playing the ukulele? About 7 years. 7 years. I've been a musician for about 40 years, and the last 7 years so I've concentrated mostly on ukulele. Primarily, I do mostly original tunes, and I'm interested in the darker side of things, the more serious side of things. Most of my songs are darker, with titles like She Likes to Pull the Wings Off Flies, The Hypnotist, Sawing a Lady in Half. Things like that are more attractive to me. I'll be doing all of those. A song called That Dress. I prefer songs that are vocal oriented and have sort of a jazzier feel to them.
Saw her face to face. She looked a little out of breath, like she'd been running in a race. She said some guy was chasing her. I looked, no one was there. She had spider's deadly stare, because she likes to pull the wings off flies. Can see it in her eyes. Ask if she could come up, sit with me a while, catch her breath until he left. She had the sweetest smile, like broken glass and honey. She took me by the arm, an electric shock ran through me like a singing fire alarm, because she likes can see it in her eyes. Now she's standing at the window and she's drinking all my wine. She's staring at her watch. She keeps looking at the time. I don't think she likes me. She keeps looking at the door as her black stiletto heels clickety-click across the floor, because she likes to pull the wings off flies. can see it in her eyes.
Old-time music, it sits well on a ukulele. I think that's a good way to put it. It sits really well. During the 20s and 30s, it was the most popular instrument in the United States, and a lot of music was written for it. So for that reason, old-time music sits well on it because it was written for it.
At the circus, I take care of the bears. When they're not wearing hats or dancing on chairs, I put them to sleep. They sleep on the floor. They know me very well, but they don't know the score. Ride on the train till we come to a town, and I put on my cowboy boots and I wear them around. I walk down the streets, I look in the shops. People smile when we meet, even all the cops. Every town looks the same, every town that we stay in. Every town looks the same till we pack up and go away. Bears cannot smile, they cannot say what makes them unhappy. They dance anyway.
Ukulele is a fun instrument, and that it's not just easy to play. It's easy to play. It's easy to get to a point where you can play comfortably on it. My girlfriend, who has never played a musical instrument in her life, just bought her first ukulele, and she's thrilled that she can actually play songs. It's a populist instrument. That's part of its charm.
He's got teeth like a Nile crocodile. He does a couple tricks and some prestidigitation. His lovely assistant causes quite a sensation as she climbs in a coffin and pulls down the top. He takes out a saw and somebody yells stop. He's sawing a lady in half. He makes a small joke and everyone laughs. There's nothing to fear, 'cause it's all done with mirror. He's sawing a lady in half. He saws and she screams, but it's all in good fun. He pushes both halves apart when he's done. His lovely assistant wrinkles her nose, and across the room she wiggles her toes. He's sawing a lady in half. He makes a small joke, everyone laughs. There's nothing to fear, so clean, there's no blood and no gore. No messy liquids pour out on the floor. The women all scream, the men all turn green. It is the most wondrous thing that they've seen. He's sawing a lady in half. He makes a small joke, everyone laughs. There's nothing to fear, 'cause it's all done with beers. He's sawing a lady in half. He's sawing a lady in half. He's sawing a lady in And now you're standing here in front of me. You've got a blood stain on your dress, I see. Well, in spite of it, I confess, I always liked you in that dress. And now you're standing here at my front door. I can't remember what you came here for. Well, in spite of it, I confess, I always liked you in that dress. You wore that dress the first night that we met, and I remember every bow. You know, there's some things that I can't forget, and others I don't need to know. So come on in and sit down next to me. I'll take that dress off you and have it clean, 'cause in spite of it, I confess, I always liked you in that dress. You wore that dress the last night that we met, and I remember every bow. There are some things that I can't forget, and others I don't need to know. Come on in and sit down next to me. I'll take that dress off you and have it clean, 'cause in spite of it, I confess, I always liked you in that dress. I always liked you in that dress.
When you think rip snortin', rootin' tootin' ukulele, you think Pops Bayless and the Shorty Long Band.
I'm Pops Bayless of the Shorty Long Band, and this is my partner, Mysterious John. And we're doing American Novelty here in New York. I saw Ken Burns' documentary Jazz a while back on PBS, and though I liked the format, I found it lacking, and I thought, hey, I can do that.
And it's titled First-Hand Witness to Second-Hand Love. Take it away, boys.
A dingy hotel room, a bottle of rye, features are half lips in a cold neon glow. Some are hustling for Christmas. I hope it's enough. And I watch and I wonder as they bustle and shove. Have they ever been witness to secondhand love? I send out for Chinese, tip the bellhop a buck. They forgot my fortune cookie. Ain't that my luck? I lay on the ceiling, looking down on the bed. Ain't visions of sugar plums dancing in my head. The movie I'm watching on the floor so high above is about a man who thought he knew it all and who thought that he was tough. Now he's a witness to secondhand love.
It's a faux documentary, if you will, about 10 novelty acts that existed between 1917 and 1950. And it's a story told through multimedia. We have slides and narration, biographies, and we recreate the music of each one of those bands.
And now, a brief interlude in which we will demonstrate the proper use of that novelty staple, the ukulele.
Oh, when I start to drag, I hear that old time lag. It picks me up and moves me along. I started shuffling my feet to that old-fashioned beat. My heart starts singing a song, and in that tasty syncopating gets my system percolating. Suddenly I'm starting to stroll. You know, I just gotta say, I love that old-fashioned way. It's like a cup of coffee for my aching soul.
I hope you've enjoyed this little taste of New York Uke Fest. If you'd like to learn more about these performers, please visit their websites.